Hello everyone and welcome to these sessions on strategic financial management. My friends, if you are CA final students and if you are aiming at scoring at least 70 plus in this paper SFM, that is strategic financial management, then let me tell you one thing, you are at the right place and watching the right video. So friends, in this journey of yours, I'm going to be your guide. I will accompany you from the beginning till end, and this journey, I can promise you definitely that this journey is going to be very interesting, and I will take every possible effort to make this journey as pleasant for you as possible. Now, let me first give you a brief introduction about the subject strategic financial management. So, first of all, you are a student who will be writing exam in new syllabus designed by ICAI. So, this new syllabus, few things you need to understand. What is the content of your syllabus, and you have to strategize how you are going to prepare it. So friends, first of all, most students have one keen interest on knowing the marks allocation topic wise. Friends, ICAI has already given this information on their website. You can find all levels, all papers, every subject, the topic wise mark allocation has been listed by ICAI. You can get it at www.icai.org. Now, I don't want to go into those details which you already know. So, I would just give you a brief idea about how are we going to plan this entire syllabus. What you find on the screen are important topics, the critical topics and the most important topics, I would say, and these would cover up at least 70 marks of your paper. Now, the first three topics out of this, portfolio theory, forex and international finance, and derivatives. These three topics consume maximum amount of time, and these three topics will be given in your first volume of textbook. Let me tell you, you will be given two different volumes of textbooks, volume 1 and volume 2, and you will also get a revisionary book called Revamp. I have included a separate video about introducing the idea of Revamp and explaining how exactly you should be benefited from that revisionary book. However, let me first stick back to this subject introduction. So friends, these 6 topics, what you find over here, portfolio theory, forex and international finance, derivatives, security valuation, corporate valuation, and mergers and acquisitions. These 6 topics are to be covered first. In my videos, you will be finding that exactly in this sequence I have covered these 6 topics at priority. This is because these critical topics will require more practice, more revision, and more of doubt clearing from your side. So the moment you think that how are we going to clarify our doubts if we have, so friends, I have made this doubt clearing thing very easy going and extremely systematic. You can find the phone numbers given over there at the strip below and the website address also. So you don't have to actually log on to the website for clarifying your doubts. This phone number will be my direct line, and instead of giving call at that number, my suggestion is this number is available on WhatsApp and you may place your doubt through WhatsApp. I would generally pass on a voice message to clarify your doubts. As and when I get free, I will definitely respond to all your doubts. You just have to take one trouble. You have to mention that who are you and from which place you belong, and definitely I'm going to clarify your doubts on regular basis. Now, friends, the whole video content what you are going to watch ahead is planned and structured in a simplified manner to make the subject very, very simple for you to understand. And I have always been focusing on conceptual clarity. Unless you are conceptually clear, you will never get confidence about the subject. So friends, the whole content is divided into two categories. Questions that you will be solving in class along with me, and then there will be categories of questions, do it yourself. Now in this regular batch of yours, this revisionary type of questions, the do it yourself type of questions, these questions are also solved by me in separate videos. But my first recommendation is, as and when the classes go on, don't watch those practice questions videos directly. The right approach would be, you should first try solving those revisionary questions or repetitive questions or do it yourself category questions first by yourself after learning the concept, and then you should watch the video if required. So friends, if you are really interested to know what are other topics in the syllabus, I would recommend you can just turn to the index page of the textbooks, volume 1 and volume 2. You would find volume 1 book comprising of just 3 topics: portfolio, forex and international finance, and derivatives. All other topics have been covered in volume 2. So you can just go through what is the detailed content of your syllabus, but as such not needed. I am sure what is right now going in your mind, coming to the main point, that is what should be your preparation strategy, right? So let me not waste any more time and directly guide you on your preparation strategy. So friends, your preparation strategy begins with your focus on concept based learning. So I have told you that I emphasize too much on conceptual understanding, and therefore a student should never go with question based learning. It has to be concept based learning. Many students have a wrong tendency of looking into a question and solution, and based on what they see in the question solution, they try to grab the concept. That is not the right way. You should first understand the concept, then try to apply that concept while solving questions. So concept based learning is what I totally emphasize. Now friends, when I say concept based learning, what I have done in my textbook, particularly the first volume textbook, where 3 big topics covered: portfolio, forex and derivative. Portfolio, forex and derivative, all these 3 big topics, each topic has been classified into concepts which are numbered: concept number 1, concept number 2, concept number 3, so that when you are revising the chapter, you can revise with the concept headings, as in what you have learned first, what you have learned next. It will give you a very good background for your revisions also. So friends, my second recommendation to you is, when you are strategizing your preparation, you also need to know the exam that you are going to face. So knowing your exam, knowing the paper pattern is very, very important. So over here I would recommend one simple thing. Your paper is of full 100 marks. It is group 1, paper 2, 100 marks, full paper. Now the questions in the paper are divided into 20 marks questions. That means 5 questions you have to answer. Each question would carry 20 marks. Now you will find 6 questions in your paper. Question number 1 is compulsory, and out of the remaining 5 questions, you have to just answer 4 questions. So there you have a small choice. Now, so 5 questions to be answered, each question carrying 20 marks. However, you will not find one single big question of 20 marks. That 20 mark is further split into 3 parts. Part A, Part B, Part C. Part A, Part B generally carrying 8 marks each, and Part C would be 4 marks. So your 20 marks question, part A, B, C, 8 marks, 8 marks and 4 marks. And in most of the questions you will find that the C part, which is a 4 mark question, will be a theory question. As a result, you can understand what is the strategy that examiner is playing for you. Examiner wants you not to leave theory at all. You cannot skip the theoretical content. There are lots of theoretical topics in your syllabus like securitization, security analysis, then you have startup finance, you have risk management. These theory topics are also important, and specifically with each question there will be a small sub question of 4 marks theory question most of the times. Therefore, you will not be able to skip the theory part of your syllabus content. You will have to prepare that theory as well. Now, what you have to do is, you have to plan your preparation in such a way that you don't exercise that option at the preparation time. What I am trying to say is, many students go with a different kind of strategy. They believe that, okay, I will have one choice of leaving one question in exam because out of the later 5 questions you have to answer any 4. And therefore, if I skip a topic, it's fine. I can leave that as an option. But friends, never do that, because you never know what you have eliminated from your preparation might come in the very first question, which is the compulsory question. And therefore, it will be a big trouble for you if you do that. Don't try to skip anything from your learning. Prepare everything systematically. Use that option wisely at the day of examination in the examination hall. So you know one thing good by ICAI is, they provide you 15 minutes of question paper reading time. Utilize that time smartly. Now, first question, whatever asked, you have to answer anyway. So while you are spending that 15 minutes of time, just go through the other 5 questions and plan then and there which 4 questions you are going to solve, so that you don't bother about the one question that you are going to leave. So based on what is being asked, which is matching with your best prepared topic, accordingly you make a choice, but don't make that choice while preparing. While preparing, your intention, your objective should be to prepare 100% of the content. Entire content you have to definitely prepare. Now, in your preparation strategy, my third recommendation is planning your preparation, which covers 2 stages, the learning stage and the revision stage. So friends, I will first talk about the learning stage and then I'll take you to the revisionary stage. In the learning stage, my first recommendation to you is, whatever you are learning in each chapter in the class with me, you should revise that content the same day. If I have asked you to solve some questions on your own, you should religiously follow my instruction and solve those questions on your own before watching the next video. So friends, learning and revising the same thing the same day is going to not only save your time but also give you impactful preparation and impactful revision. So what happens? My basic recommendation to all students, when you attend a session of 3 hours and if you revise that same thing that same day, I would say it would take 20 to 30 minutes maximum for you to revise the whole content of 3 hours, provided you revise it that same day. If you delay your revisions, you may need more time to revise. Secondly, you may have something as forgotten what you have covered up in the class. So one thing that you should follow, every day whatever you are learning in class, same thing you have to revise at the same day at home. So my specific recommendations to you at this first learning stage would be, number 1, learn and practice the entire content with conceptual understanding while you attend the live or virtual classes. Number 2, go through the content learned in class on the same day as revision. And third thing, what I would want you to definitely consider, do not gather too many books to refer. What you learn will be of no use if you cannot revise. Now let us move ahead to the next stage, that is revisionary stage. And here I would recommend you that you should plan at least 3 revisions before facing the examination. So what I am trying to tell you, the learning stage requires whatever you have learned, you are going to revise it the same day at home. That I am not counting over here. Apart from this, you should have minimum of 3 revisions. Now how should you plan those 3 revisions? The first revision should be requiring big time, around 80 hours. The next revision 30 hours, and the last revision just 10 hours. So 80 plus 30 plus 10 would give you around 120 hours of your revision requirement. Why so much time needed for revision? Because for most of you it may so happen that you are learning this subject now and you are going to face your examination at a much later stage, maybe after a year's time or 6 months time or 9 months time. It may so happen that you might have loss of touch with the subject, and then this is not your only subject, right? You have to prepare 8 papers, you have to prepare other subjects also. Maybe after this class you start with other subjects, and while you are learning that other subject, your focus will be, and it has to be, on those other subjects also. Therefore, with a gap of touch with this subject, you will need a thorough revision. So the first revision would take around 80 hours of time, and it should take that long time. What I want you to do in the first revision, you need to recap everything that you have learned. You have to solve some selected questions, because you cannot solve the whole content once again. Some selected questions, the good questions, you have to solve, and you have to revise the whole content properly. Now at this stage, when you are revising things on your own, you have to keep your textbook, your notebooks, everything prepared, ready. You have to be with the revamp book, the revisionary book, and you have to also sit with one additional notebook which you are going to write on your own, kind of your own revisionary notes. So finer points you may write up in your own words, in your own revisionary notes. So this revisionary note that you write by your own will be most needed and most helpful for you during the last day before examination. Now, the next revision will be just summing up this whole thing, which would take around 30 hours. And the last revision, I want you to restrict it to 10 hours. Because if you can spare 10 hours and revise the whole subject, it will give you confidence that yes, during examination also I can revise the whole subject in just a day before examination by sparing just 10 hours or maybe 8 hours. So what you should do, this 80 plus 30 plus 10, it sums up to 120 hours. I would recommend that you should spare 15 days for revising this subject, where 15 days should be comprising of 8 hours each. Each day 8 hours. I don't want you to sit and revise everything at a stretch. You should have gaps. One study session should be of 1.5 to 2 hours only. Maximum 3 hours, not longer than that. I would recommend, the best would be around 90 minutes of session, that is 1.5 hours of session, and you should take frequent breaks. Taking breaks is also important. In the first and second revision, I would recommend you to take up tests for yourself. In the first revision, as and when you are going with each chapter, try solving questions of past examinations on your own. At the second revision stage of that 30 hours, try solving at least couple of papers fully. So you should plan a session of test writing. Test writing is very, very important. This revision stage, whatever you have to do, I am showing that briefing on the screen. Just go through that. The first thing over here, revising entire SFM should take around 15 days as maximum, with effectively 8 hours of study time per day. Divide 8 hours of study time in 5 to 6 sittings as per your convenience. Taking breaks is very important. Make your own revision notes along with SFM revamp. Your own notes will be the best reference on the last day. Write lots of tests. This is really required. Go through, revamp at least 3 times during this revision stage, so that last day before your exam, you can just prepare the whole subject very well. So friends, this was all that I had to recommend you before you start with your subject. And one very, very important thing that I should tell you, whenever I am coming up with any revisionary videos or any new contents, I will be uploading those videos on my YouTube channel. So you stay connected with me on my YouTube channel as well. That will help you to keep in touch with me in terms of all the amendments that are coming up. Now, generally with SFM, too much of amendments do not happen, but it is my tendency to keep uploading lots of revisionary stuff. Amendment word I mentioned because there can be too many changes coming up in Ind AS in your financial reporting paper. So let me also tell you one thing, that I also take financial reporting paper and my specialization is in the area of Ind AS. So if there is anything relating to Ind AS that is coming up, I will definitely have a video of that on my YouTube channel, and that is why I want you to stay tuned to my YouTube channel as well. So friends, too much of introduction about the subject. I would just tell you one small thing about myself. Myself, CA Nikhil Jobanputra. I have passed CA and CMA final exams in the year 2002, and right from then I have been taking financial management and financial reporting at final CA level. And friends, all I would wish is a very, very happy learning to you.